Your diet will fail without these three things. Yeah, they're super critical pieces to the puzzle. Hey, I'm Mitch, Calvin Fitness. We help busy parents beat that belly bulge without starving on stupid diets or living in a gym. So, with that said, what are the three things? Well, first off, the goal of any sensible diet should be to lose fat and maintain gain muscle. A lot of times people celebrate a 10-pound drop on the scale, but research would suggest they're not doing these three things. Half of that is muscle mass. Your body composition hasn't actually improved that drastically. Even if you have lots of fat to lose, your muscle will get lost. Your body will throw out the baby muscle with the bathwater, the fat, if you're neglecting to focus on the right things. Okay, so that's what we're getting into today. No holds barred. First off, and that is to prioritize strength training over cardio. Both have their place, but research is clear on this. One study done in the late 90s put two groups on an exactly the same calorie content. It was like really low calorie, almost under 1,000 calories. Wouldn't suggest it. But the one group paired it up with 3 strength workouts a week. The other group did a daily, or I think it was every other day, a run of some kind. At the end of the day, cardio group lost more weight, but when they dug deeper through DEXA scan, the cardio group lost 9 pounds of muscle among those pounds of fat they lost. Well, the strength training group somehow managed to gain a bit of muscle despite being in that restricted calorie environment. So obviously pictures would tell a completely different story than the scale would in that scenario. So make sure, whether you're trying to lose fat or not, don't delay introducing strength training. It's the most important component of exercise when it comes to dieting, because as we know, nutrition is going to drive the bus on fat loss. Strength training is going to maintain the muscle. All right. Part 2 to that equation is to go a little slower, a little smoother, not as fast. So that would suggest these extreme methods aren't necessary. Keto diet, yes, you'll lose 5 pounds of water early on. You'll celebrate that. Maybe there's a little bit of fat loss with that, but we're trying to maintain bone, muscle, and even water in the muscle itself to support your workouts. We want to make sure the pounds we lose are body fat. And the only way to do that is to take it a bit more methodically, losing maybe a percentage point of your body weight per week at most. Right? So if you're 200 pounds, maybe 2 pounds. I would suggest going for the 1 pound a week approach is actually going to serve you much better. You're not going to be starving. You're going to have better workouts, better sleep. You're going to maintain muscle at a better rate than if you just crash dieted. Okay. There's a reason the studies done on Ozempic that show as much as 40% of the weight loss is muscle, because they're not including these components. These people are just eating less because they're no longer hungry. So the idea being, prioritize strength training, take it a little slower, a little smoother. You'll get there with better outcomes. And then lastly is to support your exercise with protein intake. Pump up your protein because it works in conjunction with the strength workouts to maintain your muscle mass as best as you can. It also has the desired effect of, making you a lot more full so you can better adhere to your plan. It's a simple tweak. It doesn't have to be mountains of meat. But if you're aiming to lose 20 pounds, multiply your goal body weight by 1. That's how many grams of protein you should ideally be striving for. Science is kind of murky on this, but the minimum is like close to that gram per pound of body weight. So a little under that is fine. A little over that is fine to a point as well. That sweet spot's probably 30% of your total calories coming from protein and pumping it up. All right. So do those 3 things. I promise you the next diet you attempt will be more fruitful, more manageable, and you'll get better outcomes, both in terms of what the mirror tells you, but also in your health outcomes, because we want bone and muscle. We want to lose the fat. Cheers. Dogs.